Salutations, my fellow dandies! It's me, Jack Dandy, and we're back in Final Fantasy XIV, and I finally got my pizza! I finally got my pizza, like a year later. I was hoping they would do an actual event for it. Like, I eat pizza. I'll buy Domino's. I'll buy Pizza Hut. I'll buy most of them. If you give me a free Final Fantasy XIV emote, but they just went, nah, screw it. Let's put it on the Square Enix FF14 store. So I did that, and now I have my pepperoni, bacon, mushroom and green peppers, I think. Maybe onions. That's what a full house. It's not bad pizza. I am disappointed. Hey, Sanitation Stone. Good to see you. Hope you are fine and dandy. How's the new job going? I was a bit disappointed because there's the emotes change depending which race you are, and most of them do a thumbs up, but there's a couple of the races that just rub their face with just like how tasty the pizza is. And I'm disappointed that Cure clearly isn't one of those. Although the thumbs up is appropriate as well. Yes, we're back in Final Fantasy XIV. We are doing the Endwalker main scenario quest, which we started last week. And I am on a road trip with the boys in Favnair. That's where we are. The Elephant Place, as I am referring to it. And we are searching for Nidana, who has gone missing, I think. No, who's supposed to tell us something. Anyway, we're investigating the big tower over there, so let's go. Easy, finished every 2 hours before my shift today. Oh, that's good. I'm glad it's going well. That's what you want from, well, yeah, that's what you want from your job. You don't want it to go badly. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it's going well. You get anything in, nervous for the 11th of December? What's happening on the 11th of December? What's that the staff do? As I said, did you get anything in the Black Friday sales with your new paycheck? I mean, not that they were that good, to be honest. Apart from anything else, they make them like a week long now, so you check the Friday sales, and they're exactly the same sales that they had the all week. But I did manage to get my TV, which I've been eyeing up for a while now. I've been ooh, I want that. Pick up my ankles again. That's a tune. I've been ever since moving into this my new flat in March. I've been like, I'm gonna get a good TV. I'm gonna get a good TV. I'm gonna get a good TV. And then it got to the point where I was like, it's close enough now to Black Friday that I might as well. Oh, someone's had a bender. I might as well wait until Black Friday. And now it's Black Friday, and I bought my TV. And it was £100 cheaper than normal. So, which isn't, you know, £100 is a lot of money. I would have liked it to have been like £500 cheaper, but I'll take 100. You have to do a late shift, 9.5 hours by myself. And I'm very much not confident enough to do it by myself. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? You burn the kitchen down. You kill someone. I mean, it'll be fine. Let's talk to this drunk elephant. Oh, good. There's voice acting. Sit back.
What happened here?
Oh, you haven't had your first paycheck yet. Oh, that's unfortunate then. Well, at least you'll have it in time for Christmas.
Their dress marks them as alchemists. I see no evidence of injury or poison.
That's the next thing to do now, is for... Now that I've bought stuff for myself, is to buy, start buying Christmas presents for other people.
Thinkest thou they but slumber?
I believe so. Whether it is by choice is another question entirely.
Oh, we have guests. You must excuse the poor welcome. Long days and longer nights have taken their toll, as you can see.
What a long spear you have. All the better to skewer you with, my
I am
boy.
Vashan, servant to the satrap. My task was, in fact, to wake these good men and women, if you will allow.
Oh, he's tiny. There was no sense of perspective there, because I just saw him.
People of the great work, I come bearing new scales.
Scale? We have new scales?
Yes, my friends. Gather round. I have them right here.
Oh, happy day. Now I can continue my experiment.
This was like me when they announced the pizza remote had come out. I was just like, whoa!
Many thanks.
I can
One
pretend
for
to
me.
eat pizza in an online MMORPG. Hooray!
Those are dragon scales.
Yes, such materials are vital to their most pressing research.
And we are fortunate to have them. Our experiments are so close to bearing fruit. Soon we will have a talisman capable of nullifying the etheric emissions from that accursed tower.
Oh, that would be useful.
Did I say something wrong? Are you not here with Varshan? Wait, who are you people? Of course! You're the one Kryl sent. The warrior of light we've been waiting for.
Yeah. I forgot the Frank said.
This is a day of celebration. Praise be to Cinderova!
The winds have shifted. I feel it. The end to our toil is near.
I feel it too. My head hasn't been this clear in days.
Tell me, how did you acquire those scales?
Part of me is thinking, I'm just like, how do I voice this? Eventually these characters are going to be in a scene without any voice acting, and I'm going to have to do their voice. I don't know how comfortable I am doing an Indian accent like that.
Curious that it concerns you so. But worry not. They were freely given by the dragon with whom our satrap has forged a lawful pact.
That is well.
Yeah, I would.
You must be quite familiar with Dragonkin, yes?
That is well. Otherwise, I would have to skew you with this lance. Like I was kidding before, but no, I'll kill you.
Is this their congealed blood I see on your weapon?
Speaking of dragon blood, you yourself have been infused with it, have you not?
What these alchemists know instant transmission?
I should like to draw a file or two, if so. Now, see here. Come along. I must insist that you visit our laboratory.
This is Justinian's only greatest weakness. enthusiastic scientist.
Cease your shoving, or so help me.
I love.
Oh dear, your poor companion. What with the new scales and your timely arrival, my colleagues are a little giddy with excitement.
I love how just occasionally Final Fantasy XIV goes, we need to spend slightly more money on this cutscene, so that we can, emote. There's a particular level of emotion that we need to convey in this one, and they went, yes, let's spend it on the cutscene where Estinian gets hounded by enthusiastic scientists.
No harm will come to him, I promise. Meanwhile, shall we find a quiet place to talk?
You really need to show the fear in his eyes.
As you may have guessed, I am Nidana, the alchemist who sent the request to your mistress Kryl. We have workshops across the nation collaborating on this research project. But it is here, at the Great Work, where I collate our results. Come with me, all of you, and I can explain the crux of the situation.
We did just go, alright, well, we'll leave Estinian to his fate. He'll be fine. He's a big boy. He can look after himself. I thought that cutscene was going to be like, curious that you're sort of showing concern for the for dragons when you're covered in dragon blood. Like your spear is literally covered in congealed dragon blood. What the hell? Allow me to thank you for answering our call. Many towers have appeared around the world, and we are grateful that you would assist us with ours. Although Kryl herself is tied up with another investigation, Jack is an eminently capable substitute, and we will spare no effort to aid you. So, if I understand correctly, you seek to make talismans that can nullify Etherics emissions. Indeed we do. As you know, the tower emits vast concentrations of aether. One cannot go anywhere near it without being tempered. As such, we can only study the tower from afar, and are powerless to deal with it in any consequential way. In order to strike back, the satrap bade us alchemists create enchanted talismans. Talismans that will allow our soldiers to venture into the tower, even should they lack innate protection. Could such a thing be possible? Admittedly, we are still in the midst of testing, but we are quite confident. Even prior to this, our people have long pursued countermeasures against the etheric corruption of primals. Of the methods tested to date, those utilizing dragon scales prove the most promising. Owing to their etheric density, the scales are highly resistant to disruptive forces. The mightier the dragon, the greater the resistance. Sadly, our dragon sucks, so we've got to make do. So why don't you just get the dragon to attack the tower? She's like, oh, we didn't consider that. We seek to amplify the protective property through our alchemy. Thanks to the scales provided by His Excellency, we have been able to make steady progress with the talisman. Soon we will be ready to conduct a field test, and here is where you and your blessing of light come in. Better than having my blood drawn, I suppose. Perhaps so. And knowing my colleagues, they won't be satisfied with blood alone. Oh. Guys, I think Estinian might be jerking off into a cup. But as for your task, we ask only that you serve as an escort. I will explain in greater detail later, but you will be venturing into the tower's field of influence. And so, for your own safety, I would first test how well your blessing shields you, with your permission, of course. In that case, Urianja and I will find other ways to make ourselves useful. Seeing as you all work to the point of collapse, I suspect you could do with more hands. We would be grateful for any assistance you can provide. It would be great. We're just like, oh no, this is just that. We were just celebrating a scientific breakthrough with an all-nighter, and we were just very hungover. If you are ready, then let us put your blessing to the proof. If you exit the Great Work and turn south, there will be a hill to the right. I will meet you on top after seeing to some preparations. I don't know why you were here, Varshan. You didn't have any lines, but, you know, bye. Wow, it got dark out quick. It is winter. Winter do be like that, though. Like, legit. As soon as the clocks go back, it's 3 o'clock, and it's night. It's beautiful sunshine, and then it's 3:01, and it's almost pitch darkness. Pretty much. Drunken Deeper. We have been out on a bender. I hope you didn't have trouble finding this place, or climbing the hill. Not all are accustomed to the physical strain. What is this weird bean thing you've got here? Get it off me. I'll stomp on it. I give you the fruit of our sweat, tears, and many a sleepless night, the Drunken Deeper. A deeper is a lantern presented to the gods as an offering. Taking inspiration from the tradition, we created this device to test the talisman's efficacy. Upon activation, it will move a certain distance before emitting a powerful blast of ether. Hey, salutations, Briar. I love winter for that, though. Summer's over, sweating season is done, now it's time for cold, loving night dwellers. I like spring and autumn for that. But when it gets to winter and it's dark at like... Yeah, it's dark in... when it gets dark before I finish work, that's when I'm like... Man, it's too dark now. Like, it should get dark as I finish work. That's fine. But when it's like I've still got 3 hours left of my shift, and it's pitch black and the streetlights are turning on, it's like... it's too dark. Anyway, salutations. Good to see you. Hope you're dandy. In lieu of corruption, those lacking sufficient protection will experience severe ether sickness. For your test, you will be exposed 4 times. That should be enough to ascertain your blessing's protective capability. Please begin whenever you are ready. I shall be observing from a safe distance. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Repeat. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Retreat to a safe distance if you are not the subject. Follow the Drunken Deeper's lead and try not to fall behind. Oh, it's just literally a bouncing lantern. Okay. I was like, is this like gonna like just slide along the ground, or is it gonna like take off? This is definitely a minion I can get. Grading ether, please stand back. Alright. Ready to discharge. Warning, discharging. You're struck by a powerful blast of ether, but suffer no ill effects. I mean, ether's not really the problem. It's primal ether that's the problem. Subject has no irrepressible urge to empty their stomach. Confirmed resuming test. Please follow. Hey, thanks for the 19 months, Etrada. Salutations. I'm the other way. I want to move to those towns in Alaska. It's night for like 3 months straight. Fair enough. I mean, I do prefer the cold to the hot. So I would, if it was a choice between the two, I would prefer a cold night than a hot day. But I still do like a nice... I like when it's pleasant. You know? Autumn is my jam. Like... it's like September and October, those are my months. Like late September, October, and early November. That's kind of peak for me. And then late November into December is when it starts getting silly. Oh, I need to talk to her. I keep forgetting I need to talk to her. Subject stomach and bowel integrity holding. Confirmed. Resuming test, please follow. Yes, I haven't shit myself yet. Thank you for your concern, Deeper. Oh, the elephant's going to be disappointed if the Warrior of Light comes back doing the Walk of Shame. Because I've soiled myself. Where are you going? Just go in a straight line. You're a robot. I think. Yeah, I can absolutely get this as a million. Yeah, I still haven't shit myself. Subject fortitude rated, impressive, no irregularities, confirmed, resuming test. Please follow and brace for final discharge. Hell yeah. I was trying to workshop a joke in my head there about like a porno ending with prepare for the final discharge, but I couldn't figure it out. Like, I know there's something there somewhere, but it just wasn't coming together. Etheric exposure testing concluded. Please collect and deliver me to the supervising alchemist. I am tired. I do not want to walk anymore. Congratulations on whatever he said. I seem to have lost my hat somewhere in Golden Saucer. Hey, I didn't shit myself. Always ready for the final discharge. See, there we go. That's the better one-liner. That would have been a better one-liner than me trying to workshop some kind of. It's the final discharge. Dun 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 dun. That is a mood killer. That would be a mood killer. Ah, you've returned, and not on your knees. A promising sign. But come, let me take the deeper off your hands. Thank you. I shall replenish its ether for when we test the talisman. So, no dizziness or nausea or anything of the sort. You're feeling perfectly fine. Then the strength of your blessing is beyond doubt. There is no risk that the tower will corrupt your ether. With this, we can request your aid for the task ahead with easy hearts. Yay. Oh look! You guys missed the start of the stream. I got my pizza remote! Yay! I don't know why I'm so, I just really wanted the pizza remote. Out of all of the eat things emote, the pizza is the one that I sort of like, this is the thing, like unless they add a eat beef stroganoff emote, the add eat pizza emote is probably the thing that attunes with me the most. It's like, I do eat a lot of pizza, I think, compared to your average person. Compared to the other things that I have, which are eggs, Halloween biscuits, and I don't actually remember. I think I've got one more eat emote. There's a couple more that you could get that I don't have, but you are a capable warrior too, are you not? Would you be amenable to assisting me with another errand? You see, our talisman requires the use of a special ink, but we have exhausted our stores of a key ingredient for it, spirit weed. The herb grows not far from here, and I would like to go and harvest some. With the recent spate of kidnappings, however, we, Arcasadora, travel alone at our peril. Will you not come with me as my escort? I would compensate you for your troubles, of course. I am in your debt. Without further ado, let us head to Kadyad's footsteps. It is situated on the road which runs east of the Great Work. Oh, it's chocolate that I have. I mean, chocolate, I probably do eat quite a bit of chocolate, but it is like a Valentine's. It is specifically supposed to be like a Valentine's chocolate. As opposed to, say, like a Kinder Bueno. Ordered bread. Yeah, I haven't got to eat bread. There's eat apple as well. Bread, probably. I mean, I do eat quite a lot of sandwiches as well. I'm honestly surprised they haven't had an eat onigiri one yet. I feel like I'd be down for that. And and I've got my drink tea emote. If they ever do a drink monster, you know, well, just generic energy drink. I drink Rockstar, but if they ever do a drink energy drink emote, I think I'd be set. I could probably maybe an eat cereal. I mean, honestly, I think there should be an entire range of eat and drink emotes, and they're not tapping into this properly. Oh, there is the Eat KFC emote as well, actually, which I forgot about, which I'm hoping comes to the store as well at some point. I mean, I'd love it if they had a KFC event in Europe, but apparently it's just so much harder to coordinate that sort of stuff in Europe compared to America, so they don't bother. But I'll happily pay £4 for it on the FF14 store. I wanna pretend to eat a bucket of chicken, like a good deviled egg. Well, isn't someone fancy? I just hard boiled and scotched. That's how I take my eggs. I may be simply imagining it, but I feel as though we're being followed. Oh, that's just my bean. Don't worry about it. Look out, Jack. Oh, it wasn't just my bean. When I hit 90, that'll be when I finally sit down and figure out my barb. I killed him. Gods, but that gave me a fright. To think that the moment I ventured outside the safety of the work. Thank the sisters I asked you to come with me. You're right, I hope. Yeah, I'm dandy. Dandy in name, dandy in nature. Good, good. Let's continue on then. It isn't far now, just through these pillars and up the rise. I was looking, as I do occasionally when I'm procrastinating from work, a load of YouTube shorts. And there was one about a guy who... What was he making? This is apparently his thing, is that he makes like it does a really delicious stuff. What is this thing? Oh man, I really wish there was a monster trainer class. I really want that as like a Pokemon. That looks so cool. He cooks things. I was trying to remember what it was that he cooked last time on the video. I think it was maybe like a chicken tikka or something like that. I can't quite remember. But then it's like, and then halfway through, like right at the end, like he cooks it perfectly normally, and then in the last sort of like 10 seconds. Turns it into a scotched egg. Like he just boils an egg and wraps it around an egg and covers it in breadcrumbs and then fries it and he's like, yep, there you go, scotched egg. What was it? Maybe he made it and then froze it and then scotched it. Oh, I don't know that. You're being followed by Motimon. I know that's a Digimon. Oh, yeah. No, this is my, Oh, I would love a Digimon collab event in this game, but... No, this is my, my little, Fall Guys bean. I got him a couple of weeks back, he just follows me around now. And here we are, Kadya's footsteps. Maybe Kadya... Kadya? Kadyaya? 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 No, Kadyaya. Kadyaya was a great dancer, and those who follow in her, well, you know, they come to this place to train and dedicate their dance to their ancestors. This pouring torrential rain is the perfect weather for us to stop and have this conversation. A happy benefit of this is that spirit weed grows here in abundance. I will set about harvesting at once, if you would be so good as to stand guard. The kidnappers aren't like to return soon, but better safe than sorry. His name is Basil. Okay, well, you could name my bean, that's fine. He didn't have one, so... I like this guy. I feel like he'd make a good, like, third stage starter, you know? Like he's a fighting water type. Redeem Ninja, make official redeem. Bean is now Basil the Wonder Warrior. Okay. You hear that, Basil? I mean, your name, you'll come across Pink Bean when I click on you, but I can't do anything about that. But you're now Basil the Wonder Warrior. I hope you're happy. He seems thrilled. He seems thrilled. You guys have a good Thanksgiving? They don't really do Thanksgiving in Canada, do they? Do they? It's like a Christmas in Japan situation where they don't really celebrate it, but they do go like, well, you know, because it's, you know, because the rest...
Yes, that would be Radzad Han. Hardly anyone has been allowed in or out since our troubles with the tower began.
Because everyone else celebrates it, we'll eat chicken or something just to, you know, mark the occasion. We'll have Christmas cakes and chicken. That's how we celebrate.
The faithful citizens huddle inside the city walls, and commerce has all but ground to a standstill. I pity the satrap, the trials he must be facing.
What can you tell me of the satrap?
Well, he is the most important person in Radzad Han.
That's not true. I'm here.
Long ago, this island was home to two tribes of Matanga, the Gajasura and the Arkasodra. When the Aura came to these shores, it was the Arkasodra with whom they joined forces. Together they defeated the warlike Gajasura, forcing them to flee Thavnair altogether. Peace and prosperity reigned for a time, until a clan of Hjor from the mainland decided they wanted the island for themselves.
Yeah, that sounds like a skewer.
It was a direct ancestor of the present satrap who arbitrated that conflict and welded the warring factions into the nation we know today. And ever since, a member of that esteemed lineage has inherited this somewhat unique position. You see, by and large, the state is run by the people, but when problems arise, it is the satrap who mediates a solution. The stability provided by the satrap is what has allowed Radzad Han to thrive all these years. And it was the satrap himself who entrusted us with this duty. We will not fail him, nor our countrymen.
It is just funny to me that having this sort of conversation just in pouring rain and just like night time. It's like we could have waited till morning. Like, this
What
didn't
is
need
the
to be
delay
done
in the
right
vessel?
now,
I told you I need to adjust those ratios.
I need to tweak the graphics on level 2. Did they finish jerking off Estinian?
I come all this way to admire one of my splendid towers, and what do I find? Fools attempting to ward off its tempering influence with magic trinkets.
I really hope that, like, Thancred spots Thandaniel and just shoots him.
I seem to recall a similar experiment in ages past. What was that man's name? Oh, something. Owen? Another body, another time. Who could be expected to remember every trivial detail?
Allowing them to construct such handy talismans would be counterproductive to my plans. And yet, I find myself deathly curious. How will they manage this feat with the limited knowledge and resources at their disposal? Complications be damned, for we cannot escape the nature of our souls. And I, as ever, am my own worst enemy.
Like, he's just sat on a cliff talking to himself out loud. I feel like someone should just be like, Estinian should just like walk up beside behind him and stab him. It's just like, yeah, you're not really being very sneaky right now, Thandaniel. Like, if I was wandering around and there was a guy just sat on a cliff talking to himself wearing a black robe, I'd be like, well, that's noticeable. It's a problem. No one ever looks up. It's the same problem with, like, the Spider-Man villains and Batman thugs. They never look up. If they looked up, they'd have a lot, have a much easier time for it. Okay, there goes to the second-hand serenade and cry about your rich daddy not hugging you. Yeah, Thandaniel does have that vibe, and he's chosen a body that fits that vibe as well. I have enough spirit weed to last us a good while. Thank you for keeping watch. Let us head back to the great work, shall we? Yeah. I'm just gonna fast out. Then that playing Infamous 2, Cole said it himself, I sit in the rooftops and I never looks up. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I get it from like a video game point of view, but in a cutscene, people should look up. Oh man, I used to love Infamous. It's a shame that series kind of died off. I freaking love those games. The most recent one wasn't as good as the first two, but it was still really good. Jack, my thanks again for your assistance. With your help, we're that little bit closer to completing our talisman. This isn't much, but please accept it as a token of my gratitude. You're right. This isn't much. I should be eating now that I'm getting like proper XP again. I have a cheesecake. Let's eat that. You can eat a whole cheesecake in front of you. If you'll excuse me, I should return to work on the talisman. Ah, you're both back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mistress Nidana. It would seem the stores of Giant School are running low. What? But when I last looked, there were still plenty. I suspect that was before Ryanja taught everyone about their tempering cure, and Estinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Your peers have been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain. But we will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tend to this, if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while kidnappers are at large. But I can send you in good conscience. Jack, loath I am to press another task on you so soon. Might I ask you to fetch the giant skull? In case you're not familiar, giant skull is a type of ore. Oh, I thought you were gonna have to get. I thought I was gonna have to cut the gallbladders out of giants. That's good. It's a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, it has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. The quarry where it is found, aptly named Giant Skull grounds isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose on you once more? Yeah. It's fine. This is like the 4th expansion now. I'm used to this. I have to do 3 tasks, then you give me the thing that I want, and then we move on. Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenunia. Zenuha. He will furnish you with the ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of hamsa, Mistress Nidana? Oh, by all means, do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. I will bring the hamster to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. Fuck's a hamster? Is it a food? Is it a pet? Is it a type of sandal? What are we doing? Also, I'm curious. I just ate that cheesecake. If I go into group pose now, do I... Oh, yeah! Where's the eat cake emote? Oh, it's a bird. Okay. But they have a chocobo keep. Like, they have a guy right here who's like, yeah, business is bad. I've got these chocobo here, but they've got their own birds that they ride. So... You know, it's an easy job. Here are our hamster, Jack. If the creature looks familiar, it is because they are close kin to your Eorzean dodos. Oh, I remember having to kill on a bunch of these when I first started. Hamster have long been kept as livestock in Fafnir, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination... Ah, speaking of birds, your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. You are ready. Then let us depart. You need only ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead for yours to follow. Whee! Here we go! Let us be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, we warned that they have a wobbling gait. He was fit to a silence. There's like no magic for 10 minutes. Alright, thanks, Briar. Well, that's fine. I'm riding my dodo. Look at oh. That spectacular formation stretching out... Oh, okay. The sword Legends holds was wielded by Minucia against the Mirga before it was cast down at conflict's end. I was going to try and get a look at my gallant figure as I ride my dodo, but the camera's fighting me. To the left, and requiring no introduction, is the tower. As you can see, it straddles a small isle. Please tell me I get this as a mount later. Almost there. Though the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff, the outpost itself is on the beach. That is just a really skinny pelican. Not pelican. Toucan. Toucan. And it was a can bird. I like his hat. And here we are, manned by the Radiant Host. This outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. Just let me in and Adam. Well, well, who should it be but young Varshan, on an errand for the satrap? I am. His Excellency bade me come to collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honor-bound to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, for his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as careless. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, the remains of the front line of battle, no place for children. Oh, this remains. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, 2 years now since you took over. I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may now be, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition and gladly. I pray you do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering, but still I worry for you. You would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. Take care, do you hear? I will, Nabdeen. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish, by the look of him. Is that an insult? I don't know what Hanish is. Permit me to introduce Jack Dandy, of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. From Eorzea, you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes. Tell me, what is the situation like? Oh, it's right fucked. May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of ours are understandably anxious. We'll be glad for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report, and answer any questions he may have. Someone should worry over Dandy. Man keeps getting distracted from saving the world by tripping up. I miss the evil high. Hey, I haven't played a game... I sound like an addict, but I haven't played a game in a long time. Alright? I mean, not by choice. It's just as no one wants to play with me. It takes a little while before the Triple Triads encounters start appearing. Ah, I've heard of you. The visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Talofaroi? We know that they're the ones behind the tower and that they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it that they want? This we don't understand. They're crazy. What? They want to die and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Oh, yes, the Craven Gambit. Well, you can bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. I'm not an addict. I can stop playing anytime I want, says the man who's clearly not addicted. Look, I could understand addiction to things. I mean, there's a couple of things that I probably have been addicted to. I've been addicted to Diet Coke in my life, and I stopped drinking it for that reason. But I could understand addiction a lot more if, at the end of the addiction, like when you master the addiction, you get given a flying vessel based on the addiction that you have. Like if so like smoking is bad for you, but if you smoke a lot for like say 15, 20, 30, 40 years, we'll say 40 years, you get a flying cigarette as a mount. I'd be like, do you know what? I could respect the grind. You know, at the end of Triple Triad, I get a flying cart that I can ride around on. So, yeah. If doing coke gave you a flying carpet, people would regard junkies differently. Exactly. It's like, yeah, or just maybe a other flying carpet, like a little flying baggie, you know, like a little flying, or a flying credit card. So I'm thinking more like coke paraphernalia, you know. It occurs to me I have yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as now. We train hard and admit only capable warriors to our ranks. Even so, we struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on the two occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What of the tower's Neosia? Do they likewise spawn monsters? Yeah. So it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. I mean, I'm outside aid. Hello. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zot, as folks have taken to calling it, appeared suddenly where it did on the island of Narenair. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. All of the fish are tempered. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? We're kind of ignoring it. Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes are still lie with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. But again, if dragons are like resistant to tempering, why don't we just get some dragons to help us? Just get some dragons. Where's Bahuma? Let's go and get us another Bahuma and fly him in. Let's make our own primal. Let's primal us up a Bahuma. We'll fly in, blast the towers with a terror flare, call it a day. Most things you don't want to deal with, that's just tradition. Exactly. Just try and ignore it and hope it goes away. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub both, Radzatan originally receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream died up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand. As mine will keep me here a while longer, however, I am afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east upon the Hamsa. You will arrive before you know it. Oh, right. Whatever. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Until we meet again. Okay. And you, tiny person. Let me get on my, I actually have to ride it this time. I can't, it doesn't just ride for me. Let's go, tiny bird. Flap those wings harder. I haven't attuned to the etheric currents here yet, so... But yeah, if I don't get one of these tiny birds as a mount, as part of the main scenario quest, I'm gonna be upset. So like, on my time together with this little dodo guy, as we've bonded. Ether current nearby the destination. Noted. Thank you. Once I'm off my hamster, I will give my compass a slap. There we go. Over here? I tried looking for one before stream, and it was, Wait, what happened? Did I go, was it northwest instead of northeast? It might have been northwest. I did try and... Hey, salutations, Frost! BW current hunting, fun times. Yeah, the current hunts are always, I mean, I don't enjoy them, I will say. I don't think I've ever been like, oh, this is a great gameplay mechanic. I'd rather it just went, look, you can... Wait, where the fuck is it? You can fly until you get to a certain point in the story. Oh, there it is. Rather than just being like... Oh yeah, you have to do like 5 random missions and also find 5 ether currents with your little magic compass before you're allowed to fly. Which basically has the exact same effect of being like... Because normally you have to complete like the final mission in an area before they let you fly anyway. So it has the exact same effect. Oh no, it's bro. I'm very dandy today. I have I had the day, I had the day off work, but I did end up spending a lot of my day logged into my work laptop because I didn't quite finish my work yesterday, and I was polishing off a few things, and I didn't finish. I'll have to. I might jump on over the weekend and try and get some more stuff done. I am. I have terrible. My problem is I needed to get some stuff done before. I got this weekend. I got a long weekend. I took Friday and Monday off, so I had 2 days of annual leave left to use up before the end of the year. And I thought Black Friday, Cyber Monday seemed like a good time to take a long weekend. But I was lazy during the week and didn't quite get everything done that I needed to before I took the weekend off. So I just need to go nip on and just get a couple of bits done so I can hit the ground running on Tuesday. But I did do some Black Friday shopping. Spent too much money. But it'll be lovely when it all comes and it's done. We need more ether currents. I know I need more ether currents, but I'd rather they just gave you flying after you get to a certain point in the plot, rather than being like, go and do these like random 5 quests for these people. It was the old school current system. See, I only know the Endwalker current system because by the time I finished Realm Reborn, I think, by the time I started Heavensward, Endwalker was out, and so I've only ever had that. Oh, the old DLCs require half the ether currents. Oh, so does that mean I have to collect... Oh, okay. Let me have a look in a second. Aye, this is indeed the Giant School grounds, and I am Zenuya. Is there something you require? I'm Jack Dandy, and I need... Giant School, yes. Giant School for the alchemists, you say. But of course, they shall have it. They labor... I will check... No, I don't need any ID or any kind of certification that you're who you say you are. Here you go. They labor tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Oh. Yes. That is a lot of diamonds, isn't it? Right. I see what you mean now. I see what you mean now about Endwalker current hunting. Yeah, it's not as bad as the 4 you needed in Shadowbringers. Still got to do your 5 random quests though. Oh, okay, well that sucks. Here you are. A sack of the purest giant skull. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the great work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they... Guys! Someone here wants to play Triple Triad. If they need more, they need but ask. This guy wants to play Triple Triad! No one can be angry with me if it's only a short break. Come on, let's play around. Yeah. Oh, they've only got 1 card. They've only got 1 card. This is fine. Oh, it's been so long. What rules are we playing? All open, same. I got the card of the guy whose corpse is now being puppeted as my enemy. Oh, that's a new card. I didn't have that one in my deck before. Who did you replace? I think you replaced Shadowbringer's Urianger. I definitely had an Urianger card that replaced. So it's been a while. Which card am I going to get from you? Probably the Dodo. No, I've got Dodo. Pisaka? Maybe Pisaka. Wait. It needs to be 2 all the same, doesn't it? Come on, give me one and done, one and done. Ah. The addiction begins once again. The addiction never ended. I've just been making do. Oh, I got the card already. I didn't go to plan, which is the story of my life, come to think of it. The thing is the addiction is in getting the card, is in collecting the cards more than playing Triple Triad. But I have to play Triple Triad in order to get the cards. Can I go this way? I tried doing one of these earlier, and it was like, oh, it's only like 20 meters over here, and there was a wall in the way that wouldn't let me go there. I mean, if I got to collect 1,000 of the buggers anyway, I might as well get them as I go. Soon you will have the card mount. That's what I'm hoping for. This is what I'm saying. Like, if your addiction gives you a flying playing card, then it's fine. No, okay, this is the... There's a hidden barrier here that I can't bypass, so... Let's ignore it and fly back home. Oh, cool, I can become a dancer, finally. I think. Is that what that mission's for? Or was the dancer... No, the dancer... No, because all the job quests are in towns, aren't they? In the 3 hub towns. This is just an etheric current quest. Yeah. Alright, well I'll do that later. There's literally no point doing it until you get to the point where you can get to all the quests. And they don't normally... They normally lock one of them behind MSQ progress, so... I'm not going to go out of my way. Because I've fallen into that trap before, where I've gone to a load of effort to get them all, and then realised, oh yeah, you still have to play another, like, 10 hours of the main scenario. Ah, welcome back, Jack. Dare I hope you have the giant skull? Yes. One day I will turn in the other things that I have in my inventory. I think I've had that red orb in my inventory for about the last 200 hours. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype, one that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it is ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. See, the trick is to pick up quests and then just hide them, so they don't come up on screen all the time. But they're still in your logbook. People are still expecting you to do them at some point. Someone out there is counting on you. Where are my boys at?
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
There's my boys.
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
You think they finished draining you of your fluids, Justinian?
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat.
Let's K-pop banded all around.
Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we?
I can see it. I can see it. A group of 30-something men singing K-pop.
They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
I haven't.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
See, I noticed him. He was standing behind me.
What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds. This is the one.
I like the idea that Fandaniel that wasn't intentional. And Fandaniel was just like, oh shit, he saw me. Run away!
At long last.
It's like, why would he run? He can teleport.
Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments. We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
It's nice. I like how you've adorned it with 8 little gemstones.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot.
I bet someone's made that on Etsy by now, yeah. I wanted to find...
Should the scale
I'm
prove
upset
effective,
that-
as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
I don't know why I click next when I'm talking and then have to stop because the characters are talking over me. I'm upset that it's not an official piece of merchandise, but I was really wanted a set of Triple Triad cards. Even just blank ones, just like... Or like the original set of Triple Triad cards. And the best I could find is like some wooden ones that people had made on Etsy. And I just sort of think like it's such a like easy. Why would they not just make a set of Triple Triad cards as an official merchandise? It feels like an easy win. They've already got the cards. Oh, you needn't ask.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
There is Final Fantasy XIV merchandise coming out. It's just not anything that I want, which is disappointing.
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
I think a big part of it is that there isn't really, outside of Ishtola, there aren't really any Final Fantasy XIV characters that are really popular enough to make merchandise out of. So they just keep making Y'shtola merchandise. Like, she gets all of the figures and all of the models. I think Alphino and Alice just recently had models, but they were like the cheap Bring Arts ones or something, like whatever the ones are that are just like the plastic models that don't move.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
What I'm saying is it's going to be a while before we get an Urianger Play Arts Kai figure or something. Estinian's quite popular as well. I think he has a figure. I've always hoped that 3D printing gets to the point. Hang on. Where am I going? Over there. I've always hoped that 3D printing gets to the point where it gets cheap enough that you can just be like cheap enough and high quality enough that you can get official like merchandise of your player character made. So it's like you can just be like, okay, here these are the clothes I want. This is the form of my character that I want a figure of. And you just go on a website, you upload it, you choose a pose, and then they print it off and post it to you, and then you can have your own little Warrior of Light. Maybe not action figure, but a little statue or something on your shelf. But alas, I think there has been a game that's done that, but I can't remember which game it was. There we go. trying to remember which button was auto walk. Let me turn auto walk on for a second. Don't mind me, wars, dude. I just need to readjust slightly over to the elephant. I thought it would come up straight away if I googled it, but it's not. Oh, my clothes are all wet now. Look how shiny I am. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists, I can just run away from you. Like, you're not fast. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. Let's go, Terrazot. Yeah. Okay, running through a walrus. Will you please not hurt the night elephant lady? I mean, I won't, you know, hopefully I won't have to.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence.
You know, if she gets all tempered.
Any moment now.
It's fine though, I can, we've got a way to detemper people, it's fine.
It's working!
Unfortunately, the poor man steering the boat has now become tempered.
And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
She was setting up all these death flags. No, she's fine. She's fine. She's not like, oh, I look forward to going back to my village and being with my children or something when all of this is done. She's just like, no, I have...
So far, so good.
Kill me if you need to.
Protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
I'm disposable. Like, if anything, she's like knocking the flags down. She's like, yeah, just kill me. Doesn't matter. I'm dime a dozen. There's plenty of other alchemists that can do my job. So yeah, just run me through and take me and then go on your way. She's basically immortal now. Although, I do worry that Fan Daniel is going to just be like...
A few more steps.
Shoot the thing out of her hand or something. So it's going to work, but she's going to become tempered anyway.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What? Ah!
She's fine. Like the daddy's running, it's like, hey! It's like, oh no! The scale!
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid.
I can still stab you.
The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased.
That's not true. Even the guy
My
you're working
patrons
for
of
doesn't
old
like
would have
you.
positively squealed in delight. Though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Like, the guy you're working for doesn't like you, and I like you less. What are you talking about? No, my thing!
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am.
Wait, can you just... I didn't know it was like a club. I thought you were like a race of Elder God people.
How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes?
Yeah, I get about.
Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
Oh, hang on.
At your service.
I know that name. Did I kill you?
Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met, day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
Kill.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence.
I did kill Amon.
For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing,
but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it was
just
the
as
Crystal
I
Tower
had
guy.
planned, he set our way
I
with
thought I'd
empire,
fought him in the Crystal Tower, just
back on the
googling the
path
Crystal Tower
of
bosses
conquest.
whilst I was watching that cutscene.
An
And I was like, I'm sure
inexhaustible
I killed that
ambition
one.
carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Armon.
I killed you too.
No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
Didn't even matter.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war. And so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you
Killed you
might see
too.
for
I've
yourself.
killed all of these people.
See what lies ahead.
Oh, okay, so it was a clone that was at the Crystal Tower. Oh, I should have known it was a freaking Cagabunchin. That old chestnut.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
It's a real good thing that none of my enemies ever take advantage of the echo to, like, stab me in the chest. Like, I'm on my own. No one knows I'm in here. No one can get to me because I'm inside of a crystal tower. I'm inside of one of the towers, even on the crystal tower. Like, this would be the perfect place for Van Daniel to just, like, stab me a bunch.
Without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again. Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see you.
Can we please dick punch this twat waffle? That's the subtitle for Endwalker. It's Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Can we please dick punch this twat waffle? Oh, bye. She was there for a second. I think... I might be wrong. I think I have Amon's cart. The Queen Walker one. No, it'd be around here if I had it. Oh, wait, no, there's Cloud of Darkness, Vidolf, Flam, this is Sandy. Hang on. Oh, maybe it's Xande's card I have. Maybe I don't have Amon's card. Well, I have Xande's card. It looks a little worse for wear compared to that cutscene we just saw, but well, I can get Amon's card. Maybe I don't have it yet. Ah, you are returned. But where is Mistress Nidhana? Yep, she's tempered. Manussia Preserve. It's like a type of jam. Just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. I mean, you'd hope that these scientists wrote down how to make this. And they can be like... Even though we've lost the one prototype we had, we can just make another one. You'd hope. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? My tragic sense was tingling. So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. You must tread warily, lest we endanger Nidhana and the other captives. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Oh, Nidhana. Sob. Can you answer me this? Though Nidhana is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Yep. I mean, alive. You know, like in Aliens, when they had those people in the walls, and they were going, "Kill me!" She's alive in as much as they were. Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhana proved a peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who are taken might be saved. Aye. As alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. The mute main character doing charades to explain an elephant-wounded woman being put in the wall. I'm very good at it at this point. You would not believe the concepts I have explained through interpretive dance. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. This is the fantasy equivalent of having a Zoom call. And for our Eorzean ward visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhana voted your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. This fact came to the satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Razat-Han for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of the Giant's Gold grounds, and I will show you into the city. We're gonna meet this dude, who I guess is like their king. Also maybe a dragon. Oh man, I go all the way over there. I can A and B it, I suppose. Slap on auto runs to get in the right direction. Take 5. Got my first Endwalker card. I think now that I've started Endwalker, if I go to the gold swords, so I should buy some new ones. Will you piss off? Thank you. It's a spiky bird. I'm curious to see whether I can just A to B it. Oh, there's a current. Auto run, disable. I wasn't even looking for this one. No, I can't go down there. I'll go down there eventually. Eventually this invisible barrier that I have erected in my own mind will... Normally they're a bit better with that. Like, when I couldn't go to places in like Shadowbringers and all the other ones actually, in Stormblood as well. There was like, I had to go through a cave or something. This is literally just an invisible barrier that I have invented. Like, there's nothing stopping me from going down that hill other than that the plot demands I don't go there yet. Oh, it's a giraffe camel. A jamel. Ah, it's violent. Oh, do they whip their necks? Do they whip their necks and spit? Being a mime would explain being mute. Oh, I'd love mime as a job class. They got a dancer and bard. I was trying to think of the entertainer classes. I could be a mime. Aside from the lethal drop from the high cliff, my ankles have seen much worse than that cliff drop. Like I have shattered my ankles jumping from much higher distances than that. All present, then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Although you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times. No wandering off and finding ether currents, is what I'm saying.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Radz-at-Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things.
That thing looks like you use some eye drops.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
I'm not. It's kind of a weird thing. Like I think they were trying to sort of suggest the city was bustling before, and it's like, well, no more though. And it's like the city wasn't that bustling. Like this game can't render that many characters on screen at the same time. That said, it can render more characters than was shown in that cutscene, so they could have absolutely made the city look more bustling than they did.
Here we are. Megaduta. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
Let's go back to the nice dancing Vera lady. We'll go and look at her in a second. I'm sure she's dancing around somewhere.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come. We should head inside.
I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but I'm just scratching my back with my back scratcher. I say my back scratcher, it's a shoehorn, but...
Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid.
I like your little head feathers. You look like Lubu.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nidana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
Eat a banana.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
I appreciate you, Dragon, for speaking in English and not in the weird Dragon language that I have to constantly translate. But I like that Estinian's just like, I smell a dragon. Stop being stupid. Do you know who I am? I have dragon in me. I have dragon on me. I can smell a dragon. We only accept gratitude in the form of triple triad cards or toys for Basil the Wonder Warrior. Oh, I'd be much happier being paid in triple triad cards than I would be for in actual cash. Like the amount of cash they give me is so pitiful.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
I, mine elder brothers, of Midgardsormr's spawn, I was last to hatch.
Oh, I got your dad in my pocket. Do you want me to fish him out?
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone.
Did he paint all of the fancy houses?
In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive were the Aura. Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility.
Yeah, we do that.
When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radzat Han.
But if Vitra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Radzat Han. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
Could you have made it taller?
Ah, that would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bear his fangs.
I bet if he feels like a bit of a sort of twinge of regret at because I assume Wormblood is either an inherited surname or one that he chose for himself, the friggin' edgelord, and he's just like, yeah, it is awkward talking to dragons when you have your name's Wormblood, you've got the blood of dragons covering your spear, and you yourself are kind of infused with a dragon. Also, I think I still have an eye somewhere.
That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radzat Han. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Cartanau, I am told.
Yeah, I get around.
'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales.
Considering the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, like, their entire goal is to just to get rid of the primal threat and to defeat primals. It's taken them a really long time to go, should we maybe make it so that more than 2 of us can go close to a primal without being tempered? Should we have not researched this, I don't know, 3 expansions ago?
I worry, however, that even the 4 of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Radzat Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Awfully trusting, like, to bring Estinian in and reveal himself. I mean, I know that he, like, noticed immediately. It was like, hey, stop fucking around. But the only reason he let him in is like, yeah, you didn't immediately attack my iRobot, so yeah, you can come in. Which does make the little kid Varshan sound like a Roomba, but that meeting took us to a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. As we join our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetheryte here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Maybe I do. My lad back in town. Well, I have... Oh, actually, unsummoned Basil. Oh no, let me fix that. Where is he? There he is. Square is what I meant to hit. In fact, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go and... back to old Sharlayan. Do we at any point need to let that researcher know, by the way, that we didn't die? Just... Okay, there's no one who wants to play Triple Triad with me. Sadly. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thapne, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? They'll need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains. When that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Alright, so I need to, yay, I'm level 85. It's been a while since I've leveled up. Now I need to help the nerds out with their task, now that the boys have... Where's Estinian? Well... An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavour. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archives of historical records for any hint of connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Nomenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right and you will find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Let's go, nerd team. I don't know that I'm going to... Honestly, I feel like you probably could have done this investigation while we were gone. I don't know that I'm going to contribute a whole lot here, but, you know, happy to be included. I'm hoping the, this is unrelated, but I'm hoping the, speaking of leveling up, the pre-order for Dawn Trail comes out. And I hope it comes with, I don't know if that's a common theme, but I'm hoping it comes with another earring that will increase my XP gain. Because it was, I like my, my lovely cheating blue earring that I've been using for most of the game, but it doesn't work anymore. Now it's just decorative. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Nomenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Nomenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Google Library pale in comparison to Nomenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Elfino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon the Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there, and once they found some promising tomes. Happy reading. Oh god, this really is the nerd one, isn't it? I went over with Thancred and Uriange, and we got immediately drunk and ate some yogurt, and then... No, to be fair, we then hung out with some scientists. And then the first quest of this is just go reading. Long, long ago on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadin man named by the name of Nunkrepf. Nunkrepf was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nunkrep's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached threatened to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nunkrep wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nunkrep gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. Flowing. It's a room full of well, actually. Is that how you imagine libraries in your mind? Many years ago, on the banks of Thaliak in the Dravenian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and the demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumours spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognise what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. I've been there. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not contain additional information on the forum. It will cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. Okay. Okay, so that one was irrelevant. So good job all these books are at the bottom of these bookshelves, by the way, and not like any of the 90% of the rest of the books, so they're above what I can reach. Are there ladders? Where are those little, like, sliding, like, staircases and things? How do you get to the top? Your help to their research is totally vital. It couldn't have gone on before you joined them. Exactly. It's like very much like no. We need Dante here for this. This is. This is essential. We need his skills. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archon Nunkrep, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men, brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their saviour, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation, I don't know how I did that, but upon a foundation of accumulated learnings, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, and for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. How did I do that? Forever 20 summers. Ooh, this is sort of juicy. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health? Basil, get down from there. Before your health, and neglected to feed the rest of your body as you should. I too once engaged in such foolish practices. But one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus, do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, you will extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, a theological, and arcane viewpoint. This book is on the wrong subject. I think Marine wrote that book. So I'm 18, season 3. That's what I tell people. I'm not 37. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us is to be a finite space, yet among the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains as unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. Oh yeah, they call the planet a star, don't they? It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern the starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? Their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future. Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Let me tell you about one of our ancestors who dreamt of using the life stream as a fuel for a rocket ship. Speaking of grammar, I mean Oni-chan. Did you see a later song about Get Banging Gura? I did. The song itself was whatever, but it was a very, well animated music video. I can't deny, how much money she must have spent on that music video was impressive, because it was proper good quality. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led to a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the forum as we know it today conceived and created. I have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the forum. Is that all it takes, is it? 3 books, and I can consider myself a Sharlayan historian. Did I read all of the books? Because I kind of want to... And they actually did... I think that was literally the last book I had to read. Or the last book I could read. Yeah. Cool. How does one become an Archon? Can I take a test? And get my own tattoo, my own neck tattoo? Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Cryo should also be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final day specifically, so we had no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant terms, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to see them through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to support everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. It's not fucking snowing. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Charlian, we're not allowed to be allowed to cross the threshold. Even to pick up our stuff. All of my old shoujo manga. Just gone. Unreachable. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Charlian, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabad, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the islands of Thavner. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as labourers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amunius. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favour of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Charlian citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Lussois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Charlians than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity. Yep, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. This is exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation. Why I wish to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Jack. More company should be arriving any moment now. That's fine, I'll just stand here freezing my arse off. So again, like, can I become an Archon? Is that like a side quest I can do? We've returned with our selections. Though I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Crowell has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we were looking into our research papers on the Umbral Calamities, as well as the articles written by prominent Forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Can I not just, like, walk around and hope that my echo triggers conveniently? That's normally what I do. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. You've got the echo as well, Crow. Just echo me and see and flashback me. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? I've never heard perspicacity used in English before. It's a lot more commonly used in French. I've never heard it used either. To be honest, FF14 seems to dig deep with some of the Old English words. I mean, I assume it's an Old English word. I assume it's an Old English word derived from French, but then many of our words are, so... the primals of unraveled power were summoned from the ether. I wasn't paying attention, but I assume all three answers are correct. Oh, okay, no they're not. Okay, never mind. So, this is actually testing my knowledge. I should pay attention. I believe Heidelin and Zodiac were summoned after the final days had arrived. Quite deliberately, in fact. If we are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics ran rampant is what first comes to mind. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupted from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. You guys, go back to reading your books. This doesn't concern you. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated. Okay, that's another word I don't think I've ever heard before. It's so I don't know it so well. It made me cough. Is that the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians? Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Alphino, you can answer this one. Me? Well, as you wish. You answered the last one. I don't remember. The Amaritines were debating the cause of the anomaly which had been observed in the lands across the sea. By this fact alone, we can deduce that the final days occurred not all at once the world over, but rather had a point of origin from which it began to spread. Others also spoke of a keening sound rising from the land itself, just before a region was visited by catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thus thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. Answer 2 was the right one, was it? I disagree. Answer 3 is clearly the correct answer, because Alphino knew the correct answer. I used my phone a friend. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Numenon's mammoths, and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Yeah, they did knock Dalamud from the sky. Oh. Oh, they summoned Zodiac, did they? You can tell how much I pay attention to the grander plot of Final Fantasy XIV. I know these events. I just don't necessarily know the exact order they took place in. That was just a test for Alphino to make sure that he was paying attention. I of course knew it was Zodiac. But I wanted to make sure that Alphino knew that was the Empire at the start of A Realm Reborn. Okay. Surely you can't be serious. That was the 7th Umbral Calamity. Hardly an event of the distant past. And even if Dalamud had existed at the time, bringing down a moon of any kind would surely only make things worse. The ancients summoned Zodiac in response to the final days. Many sacrificed themselves to bring him into being, with Elidibus serving as his heart. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will the lords of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls that they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the Primal. Oh yeah, Dalamud. Yes, I do know the Red Moon Dalamud. That was whole Bahamut's whole thing, wasn't it? And then they brought it down, and that was how they destroyed the original Final Fantasy XIV. They crushed it with a moon and teleported everyone into the future with make them forget. That was right, wasn't it? Not everyone into the future. Some people. Maybe the Warrior of Light. Or might have, had Venet and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, mostly Alphino, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep our eye on Y'shtola, an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Wonder if Jack felt a disturbance in the force or just romanced Sarah Morkin. Well, better you than me. I was too distracted by my realization of how little I have been paying attention to the timeline of Final Fantasy XIV. Which is apparently not very much at all. Hi, Y'shtola. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Louis Angers learned of the source's reflections from the Gurun oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubol Library. It is even less likely the knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counsellors, should perforce be largely ignorant on the subject. Yet, when you confronted Master Fortuno with the knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behaviour, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Oh, but it's boring. Tells me I can barely follow the timeline of FF8. FF7, I'm all over. I can answer any question on FF7, no problem. But 14, I know well enough, but just not when tested. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Here, have some shoes. Or gloves, or whatever. Get some gloves, there we go. Ready for a tea break, Jack? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbour, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, I thought it was weird that Alisaie was in this team, because she's as much of a meathead as I am. That's it. Me and Alisaie, you nerds can read your books. Me and Alisaie are going to go and have something to eat. I could have just teleported, couldn't I? I still can. I still can. What up, Alisaie? As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we enter and place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophoroi. You might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alisaie is now accompanying you. Yay! Hello, Pirondier. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear and... Wait, you're that House Lavilia girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumour. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologise. It was foolish for me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Jack. Alright, Alisaie, you're a hindrance. You go and hide over there. I'll go and talk to these people without you. You go and play with Basil or something. Hildoir! Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconsociable plans. My goodness, if it is young Miss Lavilia. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuno that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Yeah, again, I'll say you're a hindrance. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alisaie I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately, there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? No. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. He says that it's been a long time since they left, but it's been less than a year. So it's not been that long, because Alphino and Alisaie were coming to Eorzea at the beginning of A Realm Reborn, and everything that's happened in A Realm Reborn up to Endwalker has been within the space of a year. So it's not been that long. Well, it is House Lavilia, no matter how discreet Master Fortuno may have been. News of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlians has answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world. Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find, information on this apocalypse. Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? The few... I nodded in real life there. the few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? I mean, half of my entire life is doing mundane tasks for strangers, so yeah, sure. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Do I get an apron at least? No? Alright, well. Okay, so... This was the tea set. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talofa who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to talk your ear off. I would not! Goodbye! These ones wanted the omelette. I like that Gisla's ordered an omelette, and whoever they're eating with has ordered, apparently, a suitcase of food. What is that? Why do they have a suitcase of food? My people, lore masters. Nerds! Nerds, the lot of them! Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste. What? The Talofaroi? Ah yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim at the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. And you had the oven urbane banter with a smile. Oh, I kind of want to do that. I mean, it's not going to matter, is it? You don't need to butter me up, you know. I've already ordered one of the most expensive things on the menu. Oh, I look so disappointed. Fine, have the oven-baked lobster. Oh, at last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Yeah, do you want to go great with your... Basil, get off the table. Do you want to go great with your lobster? Talk of the end of the world. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. Surnamed for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talofaroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncategorized rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbour and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. Alright, let's go and glean. Also, you owe me a coffee. lobster all of a sudden. It's been a while since I made bisque. I think... I don't know if I've ever had lobster. Maybe once. But I might be thinking of crab. I've had crab quite a few times. I don't think I think I've had lobster once, but I don't remember it. I remember it tasted like crab. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring that no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Yay! But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. I don't know where that is, but I'll just go to wherever the objective marker is. Do you want to sit on the bench? Actually, I wonder, can I sit? Can I sit and be close enough to talk to? Oh, dang it. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Lobsters taste like a better crab, basically. Depends on the size. The bigger lobster, the worse it tastes. Oh. But I was right, though. It did taste like crab. They only keep lobsters of a certain size. The older ones, they just let go.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
I like that they actually have us drinking the coffee. I thought they wouldn't bother. But also I like that they gave us actual mugs and not to-go cups.
It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
Yoink the cups. They don't call us savages. I'll show them savage. No, we like Dickon. He was a cool guy. We want to steal his cups.
If I could have just mustered a
He's the only one who liked
response,
us.
then things might have turned out differently.
He trusted me with the crab lobster omelette.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Charlian is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
So should we go for a swim? I kind of want to jump in and go for a swim. Like, I don't know what it was like. Like, where does that go? Am I allowed in the water? Oh, I'm not allowed to jump in the water. Oh, of course not. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Nomenon. I'll join you at the moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. See? Alice is a good girl who returns the cups to the counter when she's done. So that people don't have to scour the don't have to scour the streets looking for their cups. Cryle. We had coffee. Hi, Ishtola. My loyal assistant returns. There's a lexicon on the first floor I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Yeah, I'm not looking up a dictionary for you. Welcome back, Jack. Been on a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Ishtola observed earlier, Nomenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Draken and Alice learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet, my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance, they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems to be obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. Now I understand not everyone is the studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. I still want to become an Archon. I still want my neck tattoo, though. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Yeah, going to Labyrinthos then. Oh, it's only over there. So I was going to Google something real quick. Okay, we're still a little ways off. Really, Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find a path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow those, they're trying to fall behind. Does she? She moves at the... I hate when video games do this. I hate when there's an escort quest and the character, you can't move at the same speed as the character. So you have to sort of constantly, like, stop and start to risk overtaking them. There's something brisk about this pace that she's moving at. This is a brisk walk. That's a run. Merry run, try to keep up. I'm sure I'll manage. Okay, so now this is fine, because now we're running at the same pace. Why did I need to do this though? Why couldn't I have just walked to the? We've never needed to do this before. It's always been implied that we walked over together. Endwalker revolutionizing Final Fantasy XIV once again. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember, I was just completely zoned out for a second there. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Like, I don't think I got anything out of that, but I wouldn't have got if they just given me a quest marker. Oh, but there's a Chocobo Cube here. That's interesting. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
I feel like it'd be difficult to keep a meaningful selection of fauna down here. Like flora, fair enough. You can keep the seeds in like a seed bank, like they do in Switzerland.
Not what you expected.
I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
But there are so many different animals. It just wouldn't. I just can't see how they could even have like anything close to a meaningful collection. I've probably got a more meaningful collection of animals in my minions repository.
But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
Thank you, Cryle.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
I'm gonna have to talk to 3 people, aren't I?
Ugh. Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
I think one thing that I don't see happen in Final Fantasy XIV that often, and I mean, I say often, I don't think I've ever seen it at all, and I feel like would happen more often, is people giving Lalafels piggybacks. Like, I just feel like there should be more often scenes of, like, Nanamo, like, sat on Rauban's shoulders. You know? Entirely not. This isn't. They definitely don't want a just imagined Cryle just riding around on my shoulders. Like, that's definitely not just what happened there. You want to know what I'm doing? All in books and all and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. I'm called Hauler. I'm called Dobbin though, not Hauler. But my surname, Steve. That's not a surname. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthios. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one for a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Don't know if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Praying for the next big expansion. You exchanged with Dobbin. Has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthios. Makes it sound like I've learnt a new alien piece of alien language, like in No Man's Sky. Let me think. The rear seed should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snowballberry 1060, or were they 1061? Ah, my head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthian carrots for Girabanian carrots? What then? Strange Materials talking about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthios. It's good that these gleaners don't have an NDA or anything. You here to help or give me more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. The gleaners are exhausted. Cryle. Any luck, Jack? What tales do the gleaners have to tell? And the guy behind you is just like, all right, we were in the middle of a conversation, but I guess that's over now. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in... Sorry, I'm just distracted by the two people in the background having a chat. For every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthios upside down in the process. New ethnic destination is now accessible. Oh, does that mean I can... I don't have that as an ethnic destination. Is there a... I probably need to attune myself to one of the things here. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night there. I think it's a little after 1 AM. My throat's starting to get a bit... I don't know if it's just doing the voices or what, but for some reason playing Final Fantasy XIV just makes me coffee. As in COUGH, not coffee. I mean, Alice made me coffee. Well, she bought me coffee. But yeah, let's stop there for a day. We got through a few quests. We got through the Thavnair quest, and we started the Sharlayan quest, aka the Nerd quest. We'll finish this off next week, and then I think go and do the Tower of Zot, hopefully. And then crack on with the rest of the main quest. Yeah, there's still... I mean, obviously, we're not very, very, like, not deep into this game at all. There's still a lot left to do. I'm just looking at, like, what some of the rewards are for some of the quests. No, I shouldn't look too far ahead. Yeah, let's call it a night there. And we'll pick this up again next Friday. Is next Friday the 1st? It is indeed, the 1st of December. You can all start our advent calendars. Look at that. Exciting times. The countdown to Christmas begins. I wonder when the Christmas event's actually going to start for this year. You'd think it would have been announced by now. Maybe it will come in closer to the actual day. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be playing some more Super Mario RPG. I planned to play some of it during the week and just didn't end up happening because I ended up not streaming Monday or Tuesday. So we'll be picking up where we left off last Saturday. So yeah, Crimbus. That's the official FF14 event name. Scratching behind my ear. Not far from 90 either now. Almost, yeah. Almost there. That's all there is to it. Like I said, when I hit 90, I think I finally take a look at my my hot bars and see if there's a better way of setting them up. Once I've got my level 90 attack, I can use my cool Red Mage diving flower petal poke move. Exciting times. Anyway, yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said. I'll try and start like 6-ish. But you know, I don't like to commit to anything because in case I want a nap. So, but yeah, tomorrow afternoon we'll play some more Super Mario RPG. So if I see you then, I'll see you then. Otherwise, have a good night, have a good evening, have a good dinner, have a good lunch, have a good whatever. I realised that my sign off is very similar to Truman's from the Truman Show, where it's like good night, And if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. That is basically what my sign-off is. But yeah, I can't think of a better one, so... But bye.